Acknowledge me.
You just made the list.
I am the BEST.
I'm better than you, and you know it. Damn.
Ladies and gentlemen, Down Under the Mat has made a triumphant return. We're here in Madison Square Garage around the pool table of relevancy. This is Dan Danielson.
Howdy.
I am Rowdy Roddy Reece here. We've just got done watching SummerSlam. Let's talk about it because there has been some interesting shit happen today.
It was quite the pay-per-view.
It was.
We skipped out on the pre-show, which was about
3 hours.
3
I'm
hours
not
of
watching any of that.
I think when we turned it on, because we were late from some football this morning that we were attending, the stream was 7 hours and 40 minutes long.
We thought surely it's not going to be that long.
That's a lot of wrestling to watch on a Sunday.
It is, but at least it was all good.
Was it all good?
Look, I think
I think you're right.
all the results that we expected to happen happened, and you might be saying, well, aren't you guys from Australia? Wouldn't you want Rhea to win? Look, it would have been great, but I think with how that story's been panning out, how it was executed was definitely the better way to go, I think.
It was, the right winners won today, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, if we're going to look at the holistic show and the whole sort of setup, 57,000 people in Cleveland Brown Stadium was great. We were saying how, obviously the pay-per-view we went to earlier this year, Elimination Chamber, was outdoors. And those outdoor stadiums can cause issues with volumes and stuff because obviously the sound goes straight out, doesn't sort of stay in like a dome or in an arena. But it was pretty loud. The crowd was good for most of the pay-per-view, I would say.
There were some down points, and that happens with every pay-per-view.
And we know, our mate Santi's app was there in Cleveland at the pay-per-view.
And so was Clyde, Destiny 2 streamer.
Great. I wonder what Santi's going to rate his own Cody Rhodes woe because he was actually in one this time.
He'll probably fluff himself up and give himself a 10.
It was good. It was
pretty good.
We'll get to that part. Yeah. The start of the pay-per-view was good. Jelly roll, cool, good work.
Not my type of thing, but
I think it was fun. I think one thing that I did hear Triple H mention on the post show, YouTube, whatever press conference thing that they do was saying how he really enjoys working with other celebrities and other media and bringing them into the WWE world. Yeah. But it's also more fun when they are WWE fans and people like
then
him.
They get it.
Correct. And like Jelly Roll, there's a segment later on, which I guess I'll just talk about now because why not? Was where Miz and Truth came out and A-Town Down Under went in and did the sort of mic work. This was the P-break for everybody, about 3/4 of the way into the pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Jelly Roll got into the ring, hit him with chairs, and then Austin Theory with a sick chokeslam.
So well done. One-handed chokeslam.
But he was saying how good that is for somebody that understands what WWE is like to be able to get his sort of childhood dream to get him into the ring and do that kind of stuff. I think that's where WWE optimize these celebrity appearances more.
Yeah, and we had an MGK back in the fold as well. Like, we haven't seen him for, I think, 8 years or so.
Since he was powerborn off the stage by KO.
Yeah. So, it was good to have him back in the fold. He accompanied Logan Paul out to the ring during his match as well.
Yeah.
Which stars left, right, and center.
Which, look, it's the show of the summer, right? It's the whole point of what they call SummerSlam. So, first match was Rhea and Liv. I'm in my Dom gear for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. Look, this was a great match.
This is the second time this year, I believe, that they've chosen Rhea to open the show. Don't quote me on that. Well, WrestleMania sticks out for me.
Yeah,
Yes, I don't know if she opened.
No, she closed
Rumble.
Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, what about Rumble?
Was she even on the Rumble? Who'd she beat in Rumble? I don't think she was on. I don't think she was on the Rumble.
It's too far ago to tell.
Yeah, I don't think she was.
Well, yeah, choosing Rhea to open the show is an immaculate choice because she just brings it every time.
And I think it was a good choice because the crowd gets behind her a lot.
Yeah.
But like you said before, is that the crowd is invested in this storyline.
Oh, absolutely.
And everyone wanted to see what Dom was going to do.
Yeah.
We knew Dom walking out. We knew Dom coming out with Rhea. We knew all the stuff that had happening. He's probably going to turn, or is Finn going to turn, or someone else going to happen? Something was happening. And so starting the show with this was good.
Yeah.
The ring work between the two ladies was really, really good. I think they told a very good story, obviously, with Rhea's shoulder popping in and out, doing her best Will Ospreay.
The shots of her just like smashing her shoulder
Into
on
the
announce
turnbuckle.
table,
Yeah.
into the turnbuckle. Amazing. Perfect. Loved it.
We did also comment on her ring gear.
Yes.
I think it's the first time we've seen her in a two-piece.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking.
Because normally you don't see a stomach.
It's the stomach tattoos that really made it soak in for us. Fantastic outfit though.
But it
Always
looked great.
pulls it off.
Liv in the denim stuff looked great.
Yeah.
The ring. What am I trying to say? The ring psychology between the two of them was very good.
Yeah. Well, they know each other very well at this point. They used to be tag partners. They know exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, and like
And
you
how
said
to
at the
get
start, the chicken shit heel, running away, sliding in, chasing Rhea around the ring, waiting for them to come face to face. You're like, they're waiting for this to happen.
That shot
Perfect.
of Rhea faking going out of the ring, so Liv rolled in and then her rolling back, and then they're both there just like on all fours on the mat, just looking at each other. So well done. Absolutely loved it.
Good rate match. The chair spot, which has been Dom's thing for the last 4 or 5 pay-per-views, paid off again.
Back in the fold.
And Dom turned.
Yeah.
On Mummy. He's gone for Liv. And you know what? I'm not far behind Dom. I'm starting to change between Mummy and Liv. She's winning me over.
Well, I'm not going to.
I'm not that I'm getting rid of Mummy.
Yeah.
By any stretch of the imagination.
Not going to turn our backs on home soil blood.
No.
But Liv, the way that she's working this year, this character that she's evolving into, the Liv Morgan revenge tour, it's definitely soaking people in.
Oh, and that promo,
it's
she
grabbing
cut on
people's
Raw,
attention.
throwing
people
the
are
stuff
enjoying
into
it.
the fire, and
Yeah.
this has been really well done, and it could have been so horrifically done by like soap opera standards of who's Dom going to pick, and this, when they used to have, the girl in between the two guys sort of fighting back in the Attitude Era and the early 2000s, where it was essentially terrible storylining to see who they were going to pick. This, I think, has been much better. Not because it's, it's a male instead of a female kind of thing, but like the way they've told this story and the choice, I think has been much better done. So
I think the way that they faked us out a couple of weeks back when Dom just went off on Liv and made her cry while she was in the stands, that was pretty much a very good, perfectly done swerve to make people think, Dom's chosen his side. But
but no, Dom hadn't chosen his side. It was
absolutely
Liv.
not.
This is really good. The fact that they both hit finishes and kicked out of each other's finishes in the match.
I'm starting to notice that a lot more. It's not just like one finish, one and done in the cinematic era, we call it.
Unless it's a more dominant finish. But yeah, you're right. And I think that there was 2 or 3 really good, and we sort of get into this later on into the pay-per-view where you don't believe the finish until the story has happened.
Yeah.
So I think that nobody thought that this match was going to be over until Dom had done something.
Yes,
He wasn't at
exactly.
ringside for no reason. And so when they did have a couple of really good near falls off the finishes, you actually bought right into it.
Yeah.
And then the actual finish was Rhea's selling of the Oblivion, which can be messy.
Yeah, it really takes both parties to know what they're doing to have it be pulled off effectively.
Yeah.
And Rhea just, I've said it time and time and time again. Rhea's selling is top of the card by none.
Second to none. I can't wait to see where this progresses. Obviously, we tie into a match further down the card with Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I think the Terror Twins, like we predicted on a couple of podcasts ago, may be no longer Judgment Day members.
Nope.
Based off what's happened at SummerSlam.
Very eventful. Well, mentioning that, I think we should just skip ahead and cover that part.
Sure, let's go to that
Because
match.
we're on that topic. Damien Priest.
No, before they got that, there was the backstage segment where Damien came looking for Dom.
segment. Yes. Damien Priest comes charging backstage. Where's Dom? What did he do? Yada, yada, yada.
Pretty sure I
Gets
called
up
him a
in-
little prick too.
Yeah. Gets up in everyone's faces, grab Finn by the scruff of his shirt. And from that moment, me and Dan just looked at each other and were like, tonight's the night. It's happening.
It's happening. Yeah.
It's happening. And lo and behold, we got to further in the night, Gunther versus Damien Priest, who, prior to Finn's involvement, put on an absolutely stellar match.
Yeah. This was a very hard-hitting match. And I mean, look,
Legitimately hard.
every Gunther match is hard-hitting. You see like the memes and stuff on the internet of like Sheamus's chest and Finn's chest and Ilya's chest. everybody that faces Gunther just gets destroyed.
Gunther had the worst chest.
Mate,
today.
he was bleeding from those chops.
I don't remember seeing that many welts on Damian Priest.
He was pretty red.
Yeah. Red, but like you get that like bruising effect from the
Give it
tips
an
and
hour.
fingers.
Let him show up and roar and see how purple his chest still is.
Yeah, exactly.
But this was great. And we've said for a while that we wanted Damian to get a bit more flowers for what he's done as a title run. And I think this match proved it. You know, he went through Seth, he went through Jay, he had some good matches and stuff on Raw. He's been really good as a champion. And this was the pinnacle, was the match against Gunther. And he held his own, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that the kicks, the razor's edge, the power bombs, the kick outs, the chops and the kicks and the chops and the kicks that they put, like it was brutal.
What really cemented Damian Priest as a future Hall of Famer or like someone that's going to be at that top of the card for lots of months and potentially years to come is the fact that when he was getting beat up by Gunther, he was just there on his knees and he's just like, just bring it, just bring it. That really elevates him and his character, and he can go through shit and still come out on the other side looking like a star.
Yeah. And then, like we said with the Judgment Day stuff, I guess the swerve to this match was that Finn just showed up.
Yeah.
Starts banging around on the ring like, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And it pumped Damien up for a bit. And then he got powerbombed. Well, what happened was because he got did he raise his edge?
Who are you talking about?
When he raised his edge Gunther and then rolled him towards the ropes too far.
Yes,
I can't remember what it was. Was it the razor's edge?
I think so. No. That was the South of Heaven.
Oh, and then he rolled him too far
towards the ropes, and then
which
Finn
was
pops
weird.
Up. Yeah, like as soon as I saw that, I was like, rope mumbo jumbo. Of course, he's rolling him towards the rope.
Yeah,
but having it be Finn that grabbed Gunther's leg and put it on the ropes caught me by surprise.
A little bit.
I wasn't quite expecting the turn to happen like that.
No, I was expecting a post-match too.
Yeah.
But I think what really sold this was that finally WWE have decided to understand that wrestlers have eyes.
Yeah.
And so when they showed the replay on the big screen, Damien looks at it and is like,
he's just standing there.
You little shit.
Turned around. And then that is what ended up being Damian Priest's downfall. Because he was focusing on trying to get his revenge on Finn then and there. And he took his attention away from Gunther several times. Got caught in a sleeper hold, managed to hulk his way out of it.
Yeah.
Powerbomb, sleeper hold again after trying to attack Finn. And then that's what his demise was.
Yep. So I think
knocked out.
I think Monday, Raw, is going to see the end of the Judgment Day.
Yes.
At least this iteration of the Judgment Day.
We've now, as predicted, just before King of the Ring started, Gunther is our new world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, Bash Berlin's up next too.
And as soon as it happened and he put that belt around his waist, I looked at Dan and I said, doesn't that just look perfect?
It looks right. It just looks right. He is world champion. He is a world champion material wrestler. And I think you said this while we were watching the match. One of the favorite things that we've said about Gunther for so long is that he doesn't have a finisher.
No, you never know how he's going to finish.
Is he going to clothesline you? Is he going to powerbomb you? Is he going to
clothesline, powerbomb, sleeper hold? Like he's got so much in his repertoire. Back in the early NXT days, he was doing the splash a lot over the
off
top
the rope.
rope.
Yep. So but then Bronson Reed did it better than him, so he stopped.
Yeah. You just never know when a match is going to end with Gunther, and that brings the excitement because anything could be the end.
Correct. I think we're getting into prediction territory very, very early here because the show just finished.
That's what we do. We're smart marks.
But obviously the Finn turning on Damien kind of draws those two away to a match.
Yeah.
Opens up Gunther.
Yes.
For a world title match, you would assume a Bash in Berlin.
Who?
I think it's going to be Sammy.
I wouldn't mind it being Ilya, but my problem with that is he came up short in King of the Ring. He came up short to get the number one contendership for the IC title. Mm-hmm. How do you build that story over the next 4 weeks?
You've got 3 weeks.
3 weeks. How do you build Ilya up as a genuine contender for that title when he's come up short for lesser accolades?
And I don't think you can in that time.
Yeah.
But you can with Sammy.
Yeah.
Because Sammy has been a champion.
He's been there.
He's been gone through at WrestleMania.
And I think that's your main point. You lead with that.
Yep.
I beat you at WrestleMania. I ended your 666-day reign as Intercontinental Champion.
Yep. And I'm not even going to let you get to 60 days with this one.
Yeah. I think that's definitely your way to build into that.
All right, so then what was the second match on the card? If we've skipped well ahead, we go back now.
You mentioned
Back in
Sami
time.
Zayn.
Oh.
It was Sami Zayn defending his Intercontinental Championship against Braun Breaker.
This was the match that we wanted to happen.
Yeah. This is the way that I think we wanted it to happen as well.
Yes.
I was caught a little bit off guard because we're watching it and then it built towards the end where Sami hit his what's it called?
The suplex into the turnbuckle.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like a belly suplex into the turnbuckle.
The exploder.
That's the one, exploder. He hits the exploder. Shut up. To set up his haluva kick. And then
I think I called it. I was like, spear.
yeah, hits his spear. Sami gets back up. Braun hits him with a second spear. And then it's all done and dusted in less than 6 minutes.
Yes. Does that time, though, include the brawling that they did on the outside? Because they brawled outside
I would say it
before the
would
ring
include
started.
from when the bell rang.
Yeah, so there was a couple minutes
yeah.
outside. Good.
Don't know what else to say.
We wanted this at Money in the Bank. They didn't give it to us, which I think is probably okay.
Yeah, in hindsight.
All you've done is built Braun to be bigger and stronger and faster.
We all get worked up in the moment when things don't make sense to us.
You mean
but
Cody at WrestleMania 39, right? Yes.
Look how that paid off.
Correct.
But yeah, like the way they've been building that story for the last few weeks between Money in the Bank and now, and then to have this pay off after Braun continually going after Sami, overcoming Ilya to get that #1 contendership, and then now dethroning Sami Zayn.
Yep.
It's panned out the right
And
way.
then your story continues with Ilya because Ilya never lost.
No, he
was
had the match
medically
called off.
he was medically called off. He wasn't allowed to
So
wrestle.
you've got a lot of space for that to build up for Braun's next feud. We also still don't know what's happening with Ricochet at the moment.
he keeps being on all of these promo
They are
videos. That
still
spot,
showing Braun taking out Ricochet, so can somewhat comfortably say he's probably still with the company. They're just waiting for that
I'm not gonna
right
get that
time
far
to
ahead.
flick the switch.
I don't know. I mean, he hasn't debuted with AEW yet.
Yeah,
we can
I
say
feel
that
like
much.
if they had have picked him up, they would have debuted him already for sure, because whatever they could build to with him and Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
Like, I know Ospreay's got the stuff going on with MJF at the moment.
Which is pretty good. Yep.
Yeah. But Ospreay Ricochet is something that everyone wants to see.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like the fact that they haven't debuted him yet and even done a little tease, like, I don't think it's happening. Unless they're going to chuck,
Keeping the door open.
just do what they did with Camille and just, like, sign her 6 months ago and not do anything with her until the last couple of weeks.
I mean, they've got that sort of a history.
They do.
But yeah, I mean, there's not much more to talk about at the match. It was good. Sami sold the way he should have. Braun looks lethal with that spear.
Very dominant.
All of the interviews I've seen of him in the last couple of weeks where they've been talking to him around the stuff pre-SummerSlam is about how fast he can run between the rings. It's like 23 miles an hour or something from the rope to the rope. It's ridiculous how fast
I think
he
it
is.
was one of the clips that I saw. He talked to one of the backstage producers,
Yeah.
and that's how they came up with that top of the ring shot to track him
Oh,
going back
go
and
running
forth
around it.
and running around it as well.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It looks great. I'm super pumped for him as an IC champion. Give him a dominant run for a couple months.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything like Gunther's reign anytime
No,
soon.
God, no.
So
Then speaking of dominant champions that probably should have happened at a pay-per-view previous, but this time maybe a pay-per-view about 12 months ago, LA Knight and Logan Paul.
yeah,
It finally happened.
they finally pulled
Yeah.
the trigger on the LA Knight.
Yeah. Look, this was cool in terms of the way they did the feud. I think that obviously you're a bit of a Prime fan over there, Reece. But
Sorry, let me fix that.
you just get a in-camera shot, please. Do it properly. But yeah, like LA Knight going into Logan's house, stealing his Hummer EV and different things. Like
Yeah.
they've done some good work up to this match, but from my perspective, I just was waiting for it to happen. This should have been done 12 months ago. We were a bit late on the LA Knight push.
Yeah, look, I still enjoy LA Knight, but I feel like as time goes on, it's just expecting big things to happen sooner has kind of diminished the payoff for this at the moment.
Yes. I will comment and say that every single pay-per-view match that Logan Paul has, he gets better and better and better.
The springboard moonsault for him
Beautiful.
to springboard up and then as
turn.
he's in the air, turn and then moonsault. What can't this guy do?
He's really good. And it
Dan
pains
mentioned
me.
it. Dan mentioned it. Now that he has dropped the US title, Logan Paul now needs to be main event status. With the way that he's progressing and the fact that he gets better and better and better every time we see him, he's not mid-card anymore.
Do you know what I'm really, really going to look forward to at some point early next year?
What?
A Logan Paul John Cena match. Like that.
I'd get down for that.
That will happen.
That will be good.
That will happen for sure.
So many good things are going to happen with that tour.
This entrance for Logan Paul, obviously getting MGK, sorry, as one of the security guards, all the Prime Boys and his podcast buddy hanging around the brass knuckles again. I guess I said this to you while we were watching it. What fell flat to me for this match is, and I've said this on this podcast several times, I think the BFT sucks as a finisher.
I'm slowly starting to agree with you.
You're learning. It's great. But the finish to this felt flat because he got the brass knucks. He hit him in the head with it. And then LA Knight just got up, reversed a move, and BFT'd him, was over.
Yeah, it was a bit... it was a bit abrupt.
You're supposed to sell Logan's punch. And I know that I think Corey said it was a jab rather than a full punch, right? But they've fought...
Punch is a punch, man.
The entire time Logan Paul's been in WWE, it's a steel reinforced fist.
Titanium
reinforced fist, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he's hitting with that with brass knuckles, and LA Knight's just like, don't worry about it. Yeah. Totally fine. I'll get straight back up.
Yeah.
That fell flat to me.
I think that, for me, that kind of took it away as well, because that was just
But the match itself,
brass knuckles to the face.
Yep.
And then 10 seconds later, I felt like I was watching AEW.
yeah, no selling stuff.
No selling.
And Logan Paul's foot was under the rope as well.
Yes,
referee.
it was.
It was under the
I
ropes.
fully expect that to be brought up. Because
I think so.
Wrestlers are educated. They know the rules.
Yeah.
So rematch coming up sometime soon, I would expect.
Yeah. Oh, look, sure. Give him his rematch.
Yeah, why not?
And then probably give him a break off TV for a while. And then
Yeah.
bring Logan back in a bigger feud coming towards a Rumble, I guess, would be what I'd do. LA Knight,
right.
look, LA Knight was fine. I mean, you saw him on the post-match presser. Post-match. I don't watch too much footy these days.
Like, he made the comment about him being pretty average in his interview with Cody Rhodes in his bus.
Yep.
I think I can kind of get it. I still
see
haven't
it.
watched the episode, but just that interaction with the press, constantly interrupting. Oh, I'm going to go now. No, I'm going to stay. I'm just kidding. I think it was a little bit too much.
Like I said to you, I think it's LA Knight trying too hard to be LA Knight.
yeah,
He's really pushing everything that he does he wants all of his little, with everybody saying LA, like all of his little things. He tries too hard to get it in sometimes, and I feel that makes him a little disingenuous.
yeah.
I think he is over. Absolutely over. His chants are great. His merch is huge. People love him. He doesn't need to try hard to get everyone on his side.
No.
Just be himself.
Yeah.
And I hope that now that he's the champion, he can just be a champion and he can have really good matches against Andrade and
Carmelo
and
Got a lot of potential for that mid-card scene on
Santos
SmackDown.
Escobar.
Give my boy Baron Corbin a shot.
Mate, he's too busy shaving people's heads and flirting with
that ad
Otis.
That ad was so bad. And Otis shaving his stomach very sexually.
Yeah, look, that was weird.
Was not fair.
But again, like we said for pretty much every match on this card, the right winner, good match.
Yeah.
Finish was a bit iffy.
Yeah. So that one and the world title, kind of, the finishes were a bit...
Yeah.
Everything else I was pretty happy with. Everything.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Moving on to the next match of the night. Our undisputed women's world title.
Oh, this match. Yep.
Bayley versus Nia Jax in a 12.5-minute affair.
Was it only 2 minutes?
12.5.
Okay. Felt like it was a bit longer than that.
Yeah. Well, I think that's maybe potentially because we were suffering through a bit of Nia Jax in-ring work.
Which, look, we've said for a while now is that she's been much better this run.
Oh, absolutely.
Than previous.
And look how it's paid off. She got Queen of the Ring, and she's now your new women's champion.
And I don't think this was a bad match.
No.
I think that, what did I say was it wasn't like, the crowd was flat for most of it.
Yeah. Until we got that spot where Bayley, Nia Jax was standing on the second row. Bayley came underneath.
Yeah,
power bomb. But she held that for a good 5 to 10 seconds and then power bombed her.
It was a huge
That
spot.
got everyone up on their feet.
I mean, I
was
would have thought
super invested from them, including us.
the Bayley to belly would have got.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a good kick out. And obviously Bayley also kicked out of an Annihilator before that.
Yeah, first person to kick out of them.
I thought those would have been bigger spots, and they kind of weren't.
No.
And you're right.
And I think that's because the fans just with Nia's history and her in-ring risk, like injuring people and all that sort of stuff, I feel like people use that as a reason to not like Nia Jax.
Yeah, okay.
More than like she's annoying, but she's a heel. That's her job.
That's exactly. She's meant to be.
So
I also think we've said this before on this podcast again, was Bailey is a better chaser than she's a champion.
yes.
And I think that this is probably a good spot for her now that she gives over the title and then now goes back to chasing. And I think the key point to this match and the moment that obviously swung everything was it being Tiffy time.
Tiffy time. Comes
With
in.
a fantastic new briefcase, which I really want to buy. As much as we've got our own Zuttum in the bank over there.
Nice new set edition.
That the pink one with the strap that Tiffy's got. Oh.
The rhinestones.
And then when she came out to cash in, and I was like, she's not cashing in. You gave her a brand new briefcase last night.
Yeah.
She's not getting rid of it right away. Like, give her some time with this thing. That obviously elevated it, distracted Bailey enough for Nia to smash her with a powerbomb and two annihilators and get the win dominantly, which she should have. Now I'm very keen to see how they do a storyline of, is Tiffy going to cash in on Nia? Is she going to let her get with their friends?
I feel like I was watching Tiffy a little too closely, and don't take that the wrong way. I saw her looking at the title a lot.
As close as I've watched Mummy lately.
She was looking at the title a lot, and I was half expecting it, but that was just too soon to have done that. And I'm glad they didn't.
The pop when Tiffy finally turns on Nia and cashes in on her is
they'll
gonna be huge.
tease that for months.
Yep.
Because
there's only one briefcase.
Yep, there's one briefcase for the rest of the calendar year. Just use it to the advantage.
Yep, agree.
Next, the big match everyone has been waiting for. No.
It's not. It's the
Punk
triple.
and Drew.
I was going to say it's the triple threat because it felt like a triple threat to me the most of the
it
time.
kind of was. I'm glad Seth didn't wear what he wore on Monday as special guest referee.
Oh, you didn't like the puffy shoulders?
No, absolutely not. I saw it and I was just like, I hope he doesn't wear this.
I wanted him to wear the short shorts like HBK did.
He would have pulled them off.
He would have. But I reckon Seth's got hairy legs.
Yeah, probably. I really liked the referee shirt.
I thought it was
the
good.
rhinestones on the trim around the collar and the sleeveless cuffs.
And the Sabu pants that CM Punk called.
Sabu pants. The black on the ref shirt being lace instead of like solid color.
Yeah.
It was very Seth Rollins, but it still looked somewhat professional.
Yes.
Except the pants. Like, that ruined everything.
But it didn't really take me out of it.
No.
That he was the ref. I think that was good. And I think the one thing that we said watching this was that we didn't want Seth to Aubrey Edwards it and take over the shots and take over the match.
And he didn't.
He didn't. He,
asserted his authority where needed.
They both had their entrances. Seth was in the middle waiting for them. Drew's entrance was great with his green gauntlets and stuff. You really liked the way...
Dude, it looks so good. My favorite color is green, so of course I'm going to like it.
Yeah, but I think that looked really good. Punk coming out in the Bret Hart gear was definitely a callback to SummerSlam 97.
Yeah.
And Punk looked good.
He looked pretty good. You can really tell that he's put a lot of work in to put some muscle on.
Yes.
And look a bit more stockier.
And the fact that when the match started, Punk was in the corner punching his head in, counts to 5, Seth pulls him out and says, it's my ring, it's my rules, listen to me. And then Drew does the same thing, pulls him out. I think that was really good because it set very early that Seth was going to officiate this match the way he wanted to officiate it.
Yeah.
And he wasn't going to pick a side on either of them to start with.
And that happened several times. Shortly after that, we had CM Punk smashing Drew's head against the steel stairs. And he looks in the ring.
Yeah.
Or was it the other way?
No, it was Punk with Drew. Yeah.
Punk looks in the ring and he's like, is this legal? Am I allowed to do this? And Seth's just like,
and then
go for it.
He turns around,
he was getting entertained. What's the problem?
Up.
Yeah.
And that was a great spot. I think that having Seth in there allowed them to sort of tell a bit more of a story on the outside the ring and do a bit more than they wanted. Some really good spots. Punk tried to hit the GTS. There was a Claymore. And then we got to the crux of the match.
Which was...
Where...
this is where the storytelling really picked up.
Yeah, where Punk hits the GTS, goes for the cover and stops because then he's got the Anaconda Vice. He's got to be the Anaconda Vice. And he stops it and he starts to pull the bracelet off Drew's hand because he gets his family back.
Yeah. And then Drew hits him and Punk drops it.
Yep.
So then, while Drew's taking the advantage, Seth Rollins,
As the referee should. Let's be fair.
clearing out the ring, picked up the bracelet, put it on. No
Probably should have put it in
worries.
his pocket.
Yeah, probably.
But I
Did
guess
the
his-
pants have pockets? I know
That's-
they look like they had pockets.
Good point. I don't know.
Did they have pockets? You go to Drew, goes back under. CM Punk starts coming back on top.
He hits the GTS.
Hits the GTS. And then he looks at Seth and he sees the bracelet on his wrist. So they start having a bit of back and forth. And he hits Seth Rollins with the
Well,
GTS.
before that, he's like, what have you got that on? He goes, oh, I'm just the referee. I'm just doing it. And then he shoves him. And then Seth gets back in his face and says, we don't even want you here. We never wanted you here. We didn't
That
want you
was
to
a
come back. It's your own fault. This is always all about you. And then Punk was like, well, it's not about you. And then bang, he hits Seth with the GTS. And then
That exchange was fantastic.
And then Drew obviously cleans up, hits the Future Shock, picks him up, Claymore, yells at Seth. Seth comes over, begrudgingly, 1, 2, 3, storms off, throws the shirt off, gets all angry, very HBK.
Yeah.
They also did beforehand the
chair
exact
shot.
spot from the chair from SummerSlam 97, where he's going to hit him with a chair. I think they told a great story. The way that
Absolutely.
this feud is not finished, but not even in the slightest, for Drew to have taken the bracelet back, put it on, kissed it right on top of Punk's lying body. Seth getting GTS'd, getting involved. There's probably now setting up a Seth CM Punk match down the track somewhere.
Absolutely.
I think this sets up a triple threat at Bash in Berlin.
Yep.
Because I think Punk will say that Seth screwed him by getting hands on with him. And Seth will say, well, you GTS me, so that's your own fault.
Yep.
Both of them will blame Drew for something because Drew's still got the bracelet. We're going to go to triple threat, and this is going to keep going. I loved it. I loved the way that they finally let them get their hands on each other.
Yep.
And the story kept going.
It did not disappoint either.
Yeah, they were both good in the ring. Yeah, Punk held his own, 100%.
Yep. Absolutely. Now, we move to the last match of the night.
Yep.
Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa in a recently announced on SmackDown Bloodline Rules match. Now,
Not Cody's brightest decision, let's be honest.
but let's be real. Whether it was a Bloodline Rules match or not, we would not expect some sort of finish until people got involved. So why not just make it a Bloodline Rules match? I think your major point with this was it took too long to get to that.
Yes.
As you look at the run times for all these matches that we had tonight. We had 16 minutes, 6, 12, 12 and a half, 17, 16 and a half, 29 minutes, 10 seconds for this main event match.
And it was over 20 minutes until shenanigans happened.
Yes. That was too long to wait.
And like I said to you, we're watching it. I'm okay watching Cody Roman go for 20 minutes before Bloodline Rule starts because that's a WrestleMania match. Those two are brilliant in the ring. Not saying Solo's not good in the ring. He is.
But we're
But I
just,
just
not
don't
invested
care
in it. Yes.
until this happens.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you had the massive entrance for Cody, getting
Massive.
Pharaoh walking off the bus, him talking to Arn Anderson, who's now back.
I said this as soon as they announced he was out of his AEW contract, he would be back in WWE.
Back with
have
Cody.
Something to do with Cody, and it happened.
Straight away it happened. Great entrance, getting the one shot all the way from his bus, all the way through the mask was a sick spot too.
Loved it.
But to me, like that kind of, I was watching that thinking this is the entrance of the guy who's about to drop the world title.
I was hoping not. I don't want to see
look,
Solo as champion.
I was
yet.
hoping the same,
Yet.
but I was cautiously optimistic of what
Yeah.
was going to occur, knowing the Bloodline Rules. But I think Arn gave it away, saying, you've still got some friends around here. I've pulled some strings. Okay, we know Randy and KO are coming back. That's fine. Which they did when all the shenanigans started. Obviously, Cody finally got on top of Solo, hits the crossroads, and then the Guerrillas of Destiny just run in, start destroying him. KO gets music, comes out. Randy gets music, comes out.
Yep.
They run him off.
Yep.
We both sat there and went, no Jacob. Well, guess Jacob's coming next.
Yeah. And then you just sit there and just wait. Like, Cody Rhodes went for the crossroads. He got one. He got the second. And then that's when Jacob came out.
And he doesn't come in with a super kick. He doesn't come in with a clothesline. He doesn't
Let's
come in
hit
with a tackle.
fucking whisper in the wind.
Straight over the top rope. Why not?
Jesus. Like, I love seeing it. But, like,
It's so over. It's just like ridiculous.
interfering in a match and running past your opponent that you're meant to be, like, taking out and then jumping on the top rope and then, it's just, where's the logic? Like, I loved it, but like, where's the
There is
logic
no
in
logic
that?
to that. Great spot, obviously. We'd seen a lot of different things throughout the weekend. There's obviously been talk of Hikuleo signing, waiting for that to possibly happen. Santi's app, another reference to him on this podcast. Santi, if you're watching or following us, please, promote us. Would love it. On his Instagram, had a picture of himself in Cleveland with Zilla Fatu.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, there's some big stuff happening. Not quite. No new debuts in that sense.
Nothing new yet.
But the match was good. The spots were all there.
Yeah.
Solo started to get on top.
This was after Jacob Fatu did his lovely top rope onto the announce table spot.
Cody through the tables
which
always.
He might legitimately be injured. I think
He did hurt his leg, I reckon.
Yeah. So Triple H said on the press conference that he's a bit banged up. So I guess we'll just wait to see what news comes out.
Yeah.
But
Well, he's a
it
tag
did
team
not
champion now.
look good.
Hopefully it's not serious.
The way that he was acting, it felt like it was serious because he knew, shit, I'm going to be out. I just won the tag title.
Yeah, we don't want Tongaloa in that tag match.
No.
We don't. The Gorillas of Destiny are not the New Japan quality. It's the Gorillas of Destiny of Timu at the moment.
Tamatonga, yep, good. Tonga,
Not at the moment.
I think we can all see that he's the bottom rung of that 4-step ladder.
I mean, it's still a pretty high ladder. Let's be fair.
Yeah, it's the bloodline.
Compared to everything else. But yeah, and that was when we were waiting for some more shenanigans to happen when Cody gets back in the ring. Solo's down. There's the steel chair, steel step spots. Everything's happening. And then he's back. He got Def Rebelled, I believe.
Look,
we will confirm at a later date.
I said this while we were watching it. It's hard. When people get new music, it's really hard to properly hear it when commentators and fans are going off their nuts.
Because he
that
was
Roman
a loud
Reigns is
pop.
back.
He was
Loud
huge.
pop. Commentators were going crazy. Couldn't really hear his music that well. Pretty sure it was just the one that he used night 2 of WrestleMania because it was really orchestral and stuff. And then maybe they've kind of worked that into the music other one.
now.
So it's like, we'll see how that goes. I'll see if it's on Spotify. Have a listen.
Well, I'm sure his new shirt, which he walked out in, was already on WWEshop.com. And I think, was it Jackie Redmond afterwards was like, I'm pretty sure that possibly means the original tribal chief. And we're like, of course you know what it means. The marketing team told you that the second that Roman Reigns walked out with that shirt on.
What a return.
A huge return. We kind of expected it to happen. And as he goes into the ring, we knew I sort of pitched that he was going to have the choice of picking Cody or Solo, and that was what happened. I thought he was going to take both out and then leave, but he only took out Solo. Superman punch, spear, and then Cody picks him up.
Solo's the only one that's been talking shit recently. Cody's been respectful about it. Like,
Look,
yes, he beat the tribal chief at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
but that's pretty much all he's saying.
That's a fair point. I mean,
he's just stating facts.
At the presser, he did say that Roman's probably deserving of a rematch and stuff. And you're right. I guess apart from the years of feuding that they've had, Roman's got no recent beef with Cody, right? It's all with Solo.
Yeah.
Great. The return we all wanted. This is the injection into SmackDown, I think, that needs to be done because I think everyone's
going to be #1 show again.
Everyone was kind of like, we loved the debuts of the Bloodline, but even the Jacob Fatu stuff had kind of fallen flat lately. Yeah. The Solo stuff didn't quite hit the peaks I was hoping it would have.
No.
I think that Solo is a much better character when he's not talking. And when he's been trying to be on the mic and leading them, I don't think he's had as much gusto as what the Roman and Paul Heyman led Bloodline was.
I think that comes with time. Like, he might get to that.
I'm not saying he's bad, absolutely not. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like when you're comparing, and that's why the crowd's chanting, we want Roman all the time, because Roman, like, we have now come to accept. I think he's hit that Cena threshold where you realize how much of a good person he is and how good he is in the ring and his character work.
Yep.
And you realize that, and then you start getting on his side, and he's hit that threshold now. Roman has. He's at that Cena level where the fans will continue to be behind him from this stage, I think.
I think so too. He's absolutely 100% the babyface now.
Yep.
And whether or not he rolls through the bloodline himself or he needs to reach out to some friends, and I think he gets the Usos back.
As you said, we've got 3 and a bit months until War Games, which has been announced for Montreal or Vancouver.
Vancouver, Canada.
Vancouver in Canada. So we've got time. We all know this bloodline story likes taking time. So we've got time for there to be bridge mending and new teams forming, new bonds.
Yep.
Lots of face-offs. There is time to have this story pan out.
Maybe we get a tag match at Berlin.
Who though? You want to put Cody and Roman together on a card like that?
Maybe. Well, I think you want Gunther as the main event.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can't
put Roman on that card then. You can't
unless you put him in a tag match somewhere early on in the card, like you had with
But
Money in
even
the
when
Bank.
it was a tag, that was still the main event.
That was the main event, wasn't it? It was, yeah. Okay.
Still the main event. It's Roman Reigns and it's Cody Rhodes.
So then maybe they skip Bash in Berlin.
But here's the interesting part that I want to talk about. How do we get, as you mentioned this offline, how do we get to Cody versus Roman 3 at WrestleMania?
I don't think we do. I think we still get Rock Roman next year. I still think that's what happens. I still think that at some point we get through all of this bloodline stuff and that Rock is the one behind Solo. And supposedly, I don't know if I heard this rumor correctly or not throughout the week, was that he got injured filming that UFC movie.
The Rock did.
The Rock did.
Ooh.
Not seriously, but that's probably delayed any wrestling stuff for him.
Okay. If that is the case, he's got to take time to heal before he.
Yeah. But my
back
point
into
to you
physical.
before was that Solo has lost his gusto because he's not as good on the mic.
Yeah.
But if you can get The Rock talking for that side of the bloodline and you can have Heyman talking for the other side of the bloodline,
The OTC.
you're sorted. You're absolutely sorted.
OGB. Original Bloodline.
Original blood.
OGB.
OBL.
No, that's something,
OBL.
that's something that's something else.
I don't know what initials you were coming up with then. I reckon that there's a whole bunch of story. That does kind of leave Cody without challenger. Throw him with Logan Paul. Give him another chance at that.
Yeah, why not?
Because that first match was great. AJ Styles is due back. Randy Orton has to turn on him eventually to try and take the title, right? So
Yeah, we suspect that's the WrestleMania match.
I think it's Cody, Randy,
Yeah.
and Rock Roman.
I can't wait to see heel Randy again. He's so good.
God, we're booking stuff like 9 months out.
No, but
So
that's what
we
do.
just watched SummerSlam.
That's what we do.
So overall, what were your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. Like, as you mentioned, like, everything went the way that we suspected it would. Some finishes were a bit lackluster in a sense.
Yeah.
But the results are what matters. And we still got the results that we wanted and expected.
Agree.
So I'm happy with it.
And
Solid
I think
3.5, 4.
out of 5. Yeah, I'd probably say
it
it's a
overall?
3.75 out of 5.
Yeah, there we go. We'll go with the ground.
I think the best part to this was that all the matches were good. It was an entertaining thing. I mean, if you sat there for 7.5 hours watching it, or if you were there,
Yeah, if you watch the
Cleveland,
pre-show
whew,
as well, props to you. I can't do that shit anymore.
that's a long day.
Yeah.
But I think the best part of all this is that it progressed a whole bunch of storylines through the TV shows. So you've got your Seth, Drew, Punk stuff continuing. You got your Judgment Day split up happening with the Liv, Rhea, and Damien, everything, all that sort of happening. You've got your Bloodline stuff. You've got Roman coming back now. Like, there is now multiple different stories that are progressing and taking everything to the next pay-per-view. And we've said this before with that, so many pay-per-views in such short periods of time. You don't have the time to tell a story in like 2 or 3 weeks before the next pay-per-view. Doing it this way means that the stories have already been told and they just continue.
Yeah.
So, I think it was a good show. It's a good pay-per-view. And I'm keen to see how everything plays out on TV next week.
Yeah, me too. I did myself a favor and didn't try and mentally overbook the card during the week.
Until we were
I
watching
was- Yeah. After
And this is where Zilla Fatu comes out, and then The Rock's got to return. And
you know how I get after a couple cans. All right, that has been the Down Under the Mat crew with their SummerSlam review. He's Dan Danielson.
I am.
I'm Rowdy Roddy Reese. We
is.
are around the pool table of relevancy in Madison Square Garage. Sign it off. Guns up.